Are you ready?
It's gonna be a hot girl disco summer. I'm never doing that again. I apologize. Why did I do that? Why did I do that? Here, let's fix it. Something cool. Boy, do we got a banger for you folks today. Unfortunately, there are some delays with some of our panel members, but we do got two of them in here. But first of all, let me tell you guys what we're doing and where we're doing it at. My name is Disco. I like to have a good time and get weird. This is a fantasy football debate pushback show. We are prioritizing pushback on hot topics, whether it be season-long projections or just overall week one, hot takes, start sit situations. The goal is to debate. The goal is to debate respectfully. The show is called Stand on Business. So when you hear this,
hold up. What did you just say? I'm going to need you to stand on business.
It means that one of the panel members had a grievance. Like they are ticked off with what you just said, and you then have a minute and a half to explain yourself. You got to explain yourself because what you said was just shameful. And it's going to go back and forth. And ultimately, at the end of the show, you, the audience, will have an opportunity to vote on the winner. This show is sponsored by Better Vision. And shout out to Better Vision, because without them, the show wouldn't be happening. We are giving $800 at the end of the season to the best and the person who could talk ball with the best of them. All right. So what is Better Vision? It is the must-have app for passionate sports fans that allows you to connect all your daily fantasy and sports betting accounts to track all of your league's matchup scores, pick 'em bets, and parlays all at once. And it is one of the most convenient things that you could possibly have out there. So we'll just show you guys a quick image of what it does. And shout out to Better Vision. This is what it looks like, guys. Your DFS, your redraft league, your dynasty leagues, it does all that. So without further ado, guys, now that I'm done talking, I want to introduce two of our guys who are going to come on and talk ball with the best of them. First, this man needs no introduction, but we're still going to introduce him because we got to get his following up because he's one of the sharpest fantasy football minds on the planet. And I think it's absolutely criminal that he doesn't have a larger following, and we need to get this man a larger following. His name is Chev. He is LBK, a.k.a. the legendary ball knower, and this guy knows ball with the best of them. This guy is somebody that you guys need to follow, but please introduce yourself to the audience. Let them know where they can find you and your work. And yeah, thanks for coming on, man.
Man, I appreciate you having me, bro. It was a blast doing the live stream. Yeah, as you can see, I'm Chev GPT, aka Chev 90, aka your favorite podcaster's favorite podcaster. Yeah. And I am here today to, I guess we're gonna get into it. We're gonna talk, we're gonna disagree. I mean, but it's all in good fun. I just enjoy being able to talk ball. And so as soon as you tag me, put the bad signal up, I was ready to go.
I love that. I absolutely love that. And then next, we got my guy, my co-host with the most. It was supposed to be somebody else, but he stepped in. He loves to argue. He likes to talk football. And he's entered the conversation. We got my guy, Sleez Bomb. My mind is a weapon, fantasy football. Welcome to the show. Introduce yourself to the folks in case they're not familiar with you and your work. And welcome.
How we doing, guys? Derek, a.k.a. Sleazebomb. I host My Mind is a Weapon fantasy football show. I also do the Guys FF Discord with the guy right down below me, Big Draft Energy. Honestly, never been on a show with Chev. I'm excited. I've seen your content, and Disco's right. We need to get you some more followers. We need to get you out there because I love what you do, man. It's great. I'm ready to battle it up.
See, right now we're buttering you up, but at the end of the day, we are going to lay the smacketh down on your candy ass, sir. So welcome to the show. And without further ado, guys, let's just get into the first topic at hand, and I'll introduce the topic. And once again, guys, if you guys disagree with, what the hell did I just say? Okay, hold on. There we go. Okay, and if you guys disagree with anything that I say, just hand up, stand on business, and then we'll play the stand on business timer. But I'll introduce the first topic, and this topic is okay. Rippe will be coming shortly, so we'll be joined by Rippe shortly. So I'll wait on his topic. Okay. So here's one of the topics from one of the panel members, and I'm just going to read it verbatim, and then I'm going to allow one of the panel members to respond. And then if you got to stand on business, by all means, call it out. What are the chances of the Carolina Panthers not just making the playoffs this season, but also having a top 15 quarterback, wide receiver, and running back this year? Sleez, you're first.
So am I going for a minute here, or what are we doing?
Just quick breakdown on a minute.
So the Carolina Panthers, this is my hot take of the year. Dave Canales in his second year finally gets 2 years with the same system. They were a 5-win team last year. They are going to be a 10-win playoff team in 2025. The 5th easiest schedule heading into the season, the number 2 easiest running back schedule. Offensive line is returning all 5 starters from last year, which should be a top 5 unit again, only giving up 35 sacks last year, which was number 6. The defense gave up 7,000 plus yards, which is god awful. 3,000 rushing yards allowed, 4,000 passing yards. The rushing was absolutely anemic. First in the NFL by a mile, by 500 plus yards over any other team. They only added 2 draft picks in Scourton and Princely in the 2nd and 3rd round as ends, but weren't that highly touted of ends. Will they be depth pieces that can help? For sure. They're going to have to score massive points at will this season. Now you look at Bryce Young, who was benched last year in week 2, brought in Andy Dalton, gave him a little sit down. Dave Canales, the quarterback whisperer. Then he finished 12 to 18 5 rushing TDs. He had the number 3 overall QBR in the last 3 weeks of the season as well. And I'm going to say right now that Bryce Young, Chuba Hubbard finished 2014 last year, him, Ted, and Bryce are all top 15 players in fantasy in 2025.
Well done. Any pushback, Chev?
I mean, I just have pushback on them being a playoff team. I mean, I think that the offense could definitely take a step forward, but the problem is the other half that you mentioned, and they should be a little bit better. They do get Derek Brown back off of the injury. They do get, they drafted Prince Unmanliellen and Nick Scorton. They should both contribute, but this was a defense that was so bad that it made no sense. And you have a corner who's a max deal guy, second contract guy, and JC Horn. But as far as them being, a top 15, the only pushback that I have, because I mean, I have Ted at wide receiver 15. So I'm extremely bullish on Ted. Tetaroa, the big pineapple, as I like to call him. I have more of an issue with Bryce Young being a top 15 quarterback. That's the sticking point for me. I don't have any issues otherwise, other than their defense sucks. And there's only 15 people to fit in the top 15. And Bryce Young, even though he was 20.8 points a game through weeks 8 through 18, I think with everybody healthy, he's going to be on the outside, on the wrong side of 15 this year.
So do we have our first stand on business face off where you disagree that Bryce Young is a top quarterback?
Top 15, yeah.
Yes. Okay. So we're going to get you on the panel for we'll set it up right now so you could talk your stuff. You got a minute to win it and tell us why he's not. But before we do that, we got to play this.
Hold up. What did you just say? I'm going to need you to stand on business.
All right, sir. Are you ready?
Yeah, let's go.
3, 2, 1, and go.
So Bryce Young being the top 15 quarterback, how can you get him past being the 3rd or 4th best quarterback in his own division? That makes top 15 in and of itself really difficult. I have Michael Penix ahead of him. I definitely have Baker Mayfield ahead of him. The only quarterback that it would be questionable that he would be ahead would be the cohort of the Saints quarterbacks or whoever is going to be starting, because I feel like they're going to be just rotating quarterbacks every week. So then we move on to, let's just see where he ranks in the NFC. Where would he be ranked in the NFC North? Would he be the 3rd best quarterback or the 4th best quarterback? Where would he rank in the AFC West? Would he be the 3rd best quarterback or the 4th best quarterback? So not only that, but then you're talking about a guy who everything he has to hit from a touchdown perspective for this to pay off. He had 6 rushing touchdowns last year in the, 6 rushing touchdowns last year in that back. It's just really difficult for him to ascend to top 15 status.
Excellent. I love this. This is going swimmingly. This is going wonderful.
Oh, let me back in here.
You want back in?
Let me back in here.
All right. So we got a back and forth. We got a head to head. You got a minute to win. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
3, 2, 1, go.
So for Bryce Young to finish as a top 15 quarterback last year, to be top 15 alone, he would have needed 56 points on top of what he had with 204 already. He missed week 3, or he got 3 points in week 3 when he got benched. Missed week 4, missed week 5, week 6 had 3 points, missed week 7, missed week 8, and then came back and absolutely destroyed fantasy football. And when you look at what Dave Canales has done for your guy Baker Mayfield, saved his career. He saved Geno Smith's career before he went to the Raiders where he is now. Now he gets 2 years with this. You get the pineapple, like you said, and Ted McMillan, who's going to play the Mike Evans role for Dave Canales. I just think it's absolutely wheels up here for Bryce Young this year, and the rushing upside is going to take him over the top. And I do not have Penix anywhere near Bryce Young this season.
Okay, and he did it in under a minute. I love that. That is great. That is efficiency at its finest. All right. Any other pushbacks, or are we ready to go on to the next topic? Chat, who do you guys think won that first topic? Or Chev, do you want to keep going? Because
you could take it to the chat if you want to.
Well, I mean, up to you. Did you want to keep going? Because I don't care about Bryce Young. I mean, at the end of the day, I believe that we're over exaggerating on a very small sample size of what Bryce Young did at the end of the year last year, and we're anticipating that that's going to go and be spread out throughout an entire season. I do agree that the offensive line is really good. I do agree that the running game is very underrated. And I do agree that Rowan McMillan is still really good. But at the end of the day, Bryce Young had very advantageous matchups down the stretch where he was extremely productive against bottom defenses. It's a tougher schedule for him. He's got tougher sledding, and for him to do it spread out on the entire season remains to be seen. I'm not willing to put him up there as a top 15 quarterback just because of a few games down the stretch after he got benched for the red rifle or red rocket, whatever the fuck you guys want to call him. So, I mean, ultimately at the end of the day, I think there's a little bit too much hype on Bryce Young. And I feel like some people are going to get, some good spike weeks. And then some people are going to get, not so good spike weeks. All right, guys, we got our final member. He was dealing with a lot of transit issues. Rippe, I hope you've been paying attention. Welcome to the show. Please introduce yourself real quick to the folks.
Look at the hair. Just comes in ready.
He is in New York, and engine number 9 was not really working out for him, but he made it. Thanks for joining us, Rippe. Please let the folks know who you are, where you're from, what you do, and how they can support you and your content.
He can't hear.
What's are we just gonna stare at? Are we just staring at Rippe?
Yeah. But what's up,
Rippe? Testing.
Let me introduce, guys. Hold on 1 second here. Let me just make sure to tell you something. It's really good to be here. I was going to be 30 minutes delayed, but once Sleez started talking about Bryce Young, I had it on speaker. The conductor of the train was like, "We got to get this guy off the train. You got to move faster." I don't know why he's talking about Carolina Panthers, this, and that. The train went so fast. I'm here. So I appreciate you, Sleez, for bringing up Carolina Panthers talk. But, yeah, it's good to be here, guys. You know where to find me. It's right there. That's the only place. Or on Disco's. Newly sponsored by Better Vision. Shout out to Better Vision. Shout out to Disco. Couldn't be a better partnership. So excited. Give them more money.
Well, the money's actually going to whoever wins. I'm just doing this for the community. Shout out to Better Vision investing in, the fantasy football community. Clearly, they love fantasy football. They love fantasy football talk. And let's keep the conversations going. So next topic, all right? And if you guys have, any pushback, once again, hands up. We'll click the stand on business, and we'll just let everybody have their minute, all right? Who is the Jags RB1 that people have to invest in this year? Rippe, get in there first. Talk to us. Who is the RB1 this year? And we'll let the other two panel members say something. And I believe you're muted.
Taking a deep breath, man. I'm here. The number one RB for the Jaguars. I mean,
yes.
Come on, guys. This man was the key to their draft. This is not a guy that was on the roster last year. The answer is not only is it a rookie, but obviously it's by Shelton. More importantly, let me throw out something else. It's clearly not just that he's the RB1. By the end of the season, the RB2 in Jacksonville is also going to be another rookie, and that's LeQuint. So they're going to remove Tank. They're going to remove Travis. One of them's getting traded. The other's just going to fall off the depth chart. The answer is by Shelton. They raved about him before they even took the job. That is the GM in Jacksonville. They were so excited to get him on draft day. He's got all the tools. Etienne, Bigsby, it's a past the organization has moved on from who drafted them, who brought them in. They don't have any ties to them. I think the clear answer here is by Shelton, and the draft capital you have to spend on him makes it an amazing risk reward play. You don't have to risk much. The reward is huge.
All right. Any pushback from you, gentlemen? Do I need to play the stand on business, or can we go to the next topic?
I mean, I don't want to stand on business because I don't really know how it's going to play out, but just overlooking that Travis Etienne wasn't RB3 2 years ago and saying that he's done is just crazy.
He's done on the Jaguars.
I mean, I think they do showcase in week 1 versus the Panthers for sure, but I mean, that running back room is a nightmare for me.
All right.
Yeah,
any reservations about that, Chev? Do we got to stand?
I don't have. I mean, look, if you want to bet on a guy that fumbled 9 times, or 6 times, and 400 touches over a guy who's been the RB3, and then over another guy who led the league in yards after contact per attempt, then yes, bet on Bajal Tootin. Bet on him. He is definitely a running back in that backfield. He might be, maybe, potentially, possibly a guy who gets some carries at some point. But I don't think that we're coming out of the gates. This isn't a week 1 or 2 play. I mean, it might be like, he might Bucky Irving his way in there at some point.
And the draft capital was 4th round. It wasn't even used high when you said that.
Right. So it makes it a tough. It's a tough sled when you've got a former 1st round pick. I know what everybody says. You have to say former 1st round pick. They're turbo dog shit. But even still, I still think that Tank Bigsby and Travis Etienne are worlds better at actually playing running back than
That's crazy. That's crazy.
Okay, so is that a stand on business, Rip?
Yeah, that's crazy.
Hold up. What did you just say? I'm gonna need you to stand on business.
All right, so your statement was you think Etienne and Bigsby are worlds better than Bajal Tootin, correct?
That would be correct.
I agree. Yeah.
Are you ready to stand on that?
I mean, do I have to stand on it?
Yeah, well, you're the one who
Sleez agrees with me. I was just on the hot seat. I mean, I'll do it. I mean, like Rip's called you out. He said you got to stand on business for your statements there. That's what the show is all about. You made a statement. You got to stand on it. Are you ready to stand on it, or do you want to continue? You locked in. All right, you got a minute to win it. 3, 2, 1, and go. So we're going into the Liam Cohen era in Jacksonville, Duval, where this guy is a guy who was one of the heaviest screen pass play callers in the entire NFL. So Bajal Tootin has somewhat of a pass catching profile, but you know what's better? A guy who's actually done it in the NFL. Travis Etienne caught 58 passes in 2023. Tank Bigsby doesn't catch passes, but you know what he does? He makes people miss. All right. He averaged 0.22 forced missed tackles per attempt last year, in addition to the league leading yards after contact per attempt. So I can't find a path to where Bajal Tootin does either one of those things better than the guy that they have, the guys that they already have. And it's a nice change of pace piece, kind of like Sean Tucker fits into the Tampa Bay backfield with Rachaad White and Bucky Irving.
I love it. And he did it in a very timely manner. Excellent. Rip, do you want to continue on this topic, or do you want to concede?
Well, come on. I'm not conceding. No, but I will say this. This is the part that was crazy. I think that
1 second. Are you ready to stand on business?
Yeah,
you got a minute to win it. 3, 2, 1, and go.
Look, nobody stands on business more than me. And here's what's crazy. To say that they're worlds better just because you're in the NFL compared to a rookie, I'll tell you why that's just completely nonsense. And this is why. 2 reasons. 1, you don't spend, if you have elite running backs that you really like, you don't spend a draft pick in the 4th round on a new running back. It just doesn't comprehend. That doesn't add up. So that tells you that they weren't totally in love with what they have in the room. It's a new staff. So the fact is there's no allegiance, as I already stated. That's a big factor in the NFL. It's a new organization, not just the coach, but the GM. The GM, James Gladstone, raved about in his interview for the GM job in Jacksonville by Bajal Tootin. So, if you don't want to pay attention to what they're doing, that's fine. We can come out here and all be analysts, but logically speaking, standing on business is understanding that Bishal Tutin is going to get some run here. It doesn't mean it's in week 1, but I think there's a good chance based on where you get him in fantasy. He's the player you want, not those other guys.
Oh, with a second to spare. I freaking love this. This is our first time doing this. This is my first time doing this, and you nailed it. So I'm gonna intervene. You know what? I'm not really gonna intervene. You know why? Because ultimately, at the end of the day, the way you got to look at it is, if you've got a running back in a contract situation in a contract year, he is more likely to outperform his current ADP. Yes, I know that Travis Etienne's a trade candidate, but I'm going to bet on the running back who we've seen do it in the past in a contract year, in a contract situation. Best case scenario, Etienne gets traded to the Kansas City Chiefs. Sleez, you're up. What do you got?
Hang on. Draft capital. Kyron Williams has been a back-to-back RB7. They spent 3rd-round capital on Blake Coleman, 4th-round capital on Jarquez Hunter, and they will never see the field.
Or don't forget about the Seahawks taking Zach Charbonnet the year after they drafted Kenneth Walker. Or the Jets.
You can't say you don't just draft a running back because of it.
Or the Jets spending a 4th-round pick on Braylon Allen after having Breece Hall, who had finished as the RB6 in points per game and RB2 overall.
I mean, ultimately, the way you got to look at it is like every NFL team is doing this because not for long league is extra volatile for the running back position. We all know that it's extra not for long for the running backs in the NFL. So what it comes down to is you're seeing more and more NFL teams go with a 1A, 1B approach as a running back situation in the running back rooms. So I don't hate the idea of them adding depth. I think it creates a little bit more volatility in order of predicting who it's going to be. And ultimately, I agree with the panel. It's not very clear, but it's good that everybody's willing to make their bet and to proceed like they're right. So I'm okay with that. Are you guys ready for the next topic?
Bring it.
Oh, yeah.
All right, next topic. One of the panel members brought this one forth, and they said that Chase Brown is going to finish as a top 5 running back in PPR format this upcoming season. So please defend your logic behind that. And if anybody wants him to stand on business, this is the one that you gave me. Put the hand up, panel, if you guys want him to stand on business, and then we could do a back and forth, or we can give the 60 seconds to win it. And yeah, you're up.
So Chase Brown, we talk about drafting good players and good offenses, and Chase Brown fits the bill wholeheartedly. So we're looking at a guy who handled 83% of their inside the 5 attempts from weeks 9 to 18. Now, beyond that, only Devon Achane caught more passes in that stretch, and no one had more expected fantasy points per game than Chase Brown from weeks 9 to 18. Not Bijan Robinson, nobody. Now, in addition to only Devon Achane catching more passes, only Devon Achane had a higher running back target share at the position from weeks 9 to 18. Now, you're saying, oh, well, it's not sustainable. We haven't seen. This is what the role represents. So Joe Mixon was 2nd in expected fantasy points per game in 2023 and 2022 with 18.8 and 16.7 respectively. He caught you have to go back to 2021 for the last time that a Bengals running back didn't catch at least 50 passes. So we're looking at a guy in an elite offense, a true workhorse with no threats to his workload, and a history with an offensive-minded head coach that is going to use and utilize his workhorse running back. So I cede the floor to you.
I love that you're giving me the floor. Anybody else have any grievances or quarrels with his take, or am I the only one?
I can't argue this. I love Chase Brown.
Rip.
I mean, I can't argue. I like Chase Brown a lot. Could he top 5? Maybe it's like top 7, but I'm not gonna argue it on.
Okay, so before I give my spiel, and we won't do the whole stand on business thing. We'll just talk ball right now. Before I give my spiel as to why I don't like it, do you guys feel like where Chase Brown is going off of the board in drafts right now, middle of round 2 in 12-man PPR drafts, middle of round 2 predominantly, right? And now that most of the drafts are done, middle of round 2, do you guys feel like you're going to get positive or negative return on investment based off of where he's being drafted?
I think you're going to get the same, but right there, fair value. I mean, RB5, RB7. The only thing I worry was his health, and he proved that he could be the workhorse last year down the stretch with massive amount of carries at the end of the season. So, I mean, I agree with Chev. I don't think Taj Brooks going to touch him much, if any. Zach Moss is pretty much done, in my opinion. Samaje Perine, more of a blocking pass down back. This is Chase Brown's job all the way.
All right. I'm glad that you said massive amount of carries. Chev, do you feel like you're getting positive return on investment where he's going off the board currently in drafts?
I feel like it's the safest pick. Not only is he going off the board where, again, he's my RB8. So I am completely comfortable making that click in the second round. And like I said, I truly believe that if he plays 17 games, he's going to finish as a top 5 running back.
Okay, now if you look at all right, I'm gonna click this, and I gotta get
I will just throw in, if I could add, he has one 100-yard rushing game in his career. It's a little bit concerning, but we'll say this.
All right.
Hold up. What did you just say? I'm gonna need you to stand on business.
I didn't expect to get involved, but I'm going to get involved. 3, 2, 1, time to cook. All right. So ultimately, when you look at the touchdown production, that is where he excelled. Everybody's under the same misconception, the common misconception that it was all PPR volume. If you look who was next to him when it came to receptions at the running back position, it was Breece Hall. The only thing that separated both running backs was the 12 touchdown equity that Chase Brown finished the league with. Furthermore, if you think that Chase Brown is a smash hit this year, you are betting on volume that is non-existent. So when you say that there is an obnoxious amount of carries, they were the second least team in terms of fantasy football, not just fantasy football, but rushing attempts in the NFL last year. He was touchdown dependent, and he was extremely efficient. Where you're drafting him right now, you are not going to get positive return on investment. It has nothing to do with injuries, because injuries is never the clause that we're talking about. The contingency was the touchdown dependency. Do you anticipate that Cincinnati is going to score at will like they did last time? Do you anticipate that Chase Brown is going to find the end zone 12 times again? I'm done.
Yeah, I would throw in that their rushing attempts were low because Chase Brown didn't play 80% of the snaps till week 9. And look at the touches he had since week 9. What are we talking about?
So
27 carries, 23 carries, 22 carries, 25 carries, 20 carries, plus 5+ receptions a game, almost 25 touches a game. What are we talking about?
So your rationale and logic is last year's production, but
he didn't get the production until he came in. That's what?
Yeah.
Come on.
May I?
Yeah, you may.
Not just last year's production, but the production under this head coach, in this regime, year over year over year. Like I said, you have to go back to 2021, where there wasn't a Cincinnati running back that caught at least 50 passes. So we could say that it's touchdown regression, but again, only Devon Achane, who we all know the stat, when Tua plays, he's 22.7 fantasy points per game. Okay. Nobody caught more passes than him last year, and only Devon Achane caught more passes than Chase Brown when he assumed the workhorse role. So if we're saying that, hey, yeah, they don't run the ball a lot. Also, when they started running the ball, okay, just to talk a little like ball, like real football, they started winning games. So his touches coincided with the winning streak and the hot streak that they went on to end the season. And you can say Joe Burrow was on a heater, but guess who was in the backfield? Okay. Only 4 players ran more routes than Chase Brown, and Chase Brown didn't see 5 targets in a game until week 9. So I don't have any issues about the touchdowns could regress. Yeah, he could go back to like 6 touchdowns. That would be an outlier, considering that this is one of the most prolific teams in the NFL, and he's going to be the guy that handles the carries inside the 5-yard line. So you could say that he's going to regress from a touchdown perspective, but what does it look like if he's 5th in the position in routes run and he's on pace to catch about 75 passes? We have room for regression, and he was 5th at the position last year in receptions, despite only being the workhorse for half the season.
That's what I'm saying. Give him a full role. It's game on, bro.
I mean, that's debatable, because I feel like it's easy to manipulate and skew the stats the way you just did, and you laid it out perfectly. But those stats are skewed and manipulated because if you look at the matchups that they played, where he was given the role and they won those games, those teams were all bottom feeder teams. None of them were really good at football or with a plus record.
Baltimore and the Chargers, he dropped 20 on with 20+ touches in each game. Those are both top defenses. What are we talking about?
that the debate is winning. They started winning games when they started feeding him and handing him the ball more with more carries. That is not true because they were only beating teams that were bottom feeder teams. Nevertheless, this is a great topic.
It's about Chase Brown's workload, though. That's the thing. It's like, again, I just threw that in there as an aside, but yes, that like we can make the fake correlation, and I did that on purpose. But we can make the fake correlation. Again, it was like that random stat back in the day when the Cowboys give Zeke 20 touches, they win the game. Like, yeah, I did that to be tongue in cheek, but also you can't deny that Chase Brown is going to be a workhorse. And if we're betting on anything, we're betting on volume with an elite offense.
Sleez, who was the only content creator last year that had Chase Brown as a top 10 running back coming into the season?
You did.
I did. Oh, you did too?
Yeah, I said Chase Brown was going to be this year's Kyron Williams before the season started.
I love that. I had him as my RB8 in my ranking. So I was in on him. I was in on him last year, but this year I cannot rationalize where he's currently going off the board. He's still a top 12 running back for me. He's still top 10 running back for me, but I don't think you're going to get that positive return on investment. I'd much rather take a Trey McBride or a shot on an AJ Brown or a Jonathan Taylor over him because I feel like those guys are somebody that you can rely on early and often for the touchdown equity. But I'm ready for the next talking point. But Sleez, I believe you have another point. Is this a stand on business or just a quick?
No, I was going to say those games, they lost to the Ravens by 1, lost to the Chargers by a touchdown. Then they beat the Cowboys, beat the Broncos. But the games before that, they were all losing by double digits. So obviously you can see the difference of when they run the football.
What's the difference?
The games are closer.
And win.
They're in more of the games and they start winning. Yes.
I mean, that's debatable. It really comes down to the game script. And like that, I don't think that's the end all be all, but I mean, neither here nor there. All right, next talking point. You guys ready?
Yeah. God,
I was trying to instigate and get you guys ticked off at each other. And now I'm fucking ticked off at all of you. Get the fuck off my show. All right, next talking point, and this one's going to fire up some people. So here's what we're going to do moving forward. Everybody has a minute to talk about this topic right here. And I'm just going to go back to host mode and stop talking my shit. What is your Travis Hunter outlook for this upcoming season, projections and wide receiver rankings? Who's ready to go first?
I'll let Rip go first.
Yeah, go ahead, Rip.
What up? Wow, they volunteer me. I love that. Yeah, I thought they said ladies first. I was like, Sleez, it's time. Okay, you want to know the reality here is what I'm looking at as Travis Hunter is I honestly don't know. And I don't think anyone is quite sure. We haven't seen anything like this. Is the defense going to be something where he is playing so much defensively also that he can't play the entire, 4 quarters? Do they determine that he plays half on offense, half on defense? It's such an unsure unknown that I can't make an accurate assumption on this. I'm going to wait to see how it plays out in the first couple of weeks by watching and then kind of figure it out. And what that means is I'm probably not going to have Travis Hunter on most of my teams. I took him on a best ball team here or there because I think it's going to be a lot of fun when it hits. But to act like what is going to look like is really hard. Plus, the fact that he's going to be on the field defensively also adds not just to the fatigue, but more so the injury prospect. So for me, he's going to be someone else's gamble. Could be a lot of fun. Maybe I'll be sad I missed out, but that's just how I'm playing this season. So my projection is to let someone else take him and watch and have fun.
I respect it. Who's next?
I'll go next.
3, 2, 1, go.
So first of all, at the beginning of the season, I was told that Travis Hunter is only going to play cornerback. That's what he does. That's what I was told by multiple people in shows.
I was one of them
on Twitter. Big Draft Energy included. If you look at what Liam Cohen has done with the slot role since Cooper Kupp, he's averaged 20 points a game in the slot with him. He's averaged 22 points with Chris Godwin. Now, Rip brings up a good point of if he plays defense, the injury, of course, that's going to be there. But what I've been saying all year long is that he'll come in on nickel third down plays that are big, important plays. They're not going to spend all that draft capital, a crazy amount in the draft to move up a couple spots for a guy that's going to be playing both ways. I never bought into that. I think he plays maybe, 8 to 10 snaps on defense that are important snaps maybe in the game. And he's going to absolutely thrive like you saw in the preseason game, how they're going to use him in the slot. He was hyper-focused more than Brian Thomas was, although, it's a preseason game still. But I think he has top 24 wide receiver upside this season.
Okay. Chev? You ready?
Is it time?
Yes, sir. Hold on. Let me start it again. You 3, 2, 1, and go.
So I early on in this process, I clocked that Travis Hunter was not only going to be a corner, and I said that he would be my wide receiver one in the class if he were to somehow play wide receiver. And that since turned into me being like, okay, well, I can't now that we have the landing spot, we know exactly what we know exactly what it's going to look like. And yeah, he's going to play a lot of the snaps on offense, but again, you have one of the 10 best rookie wide receiver seasons of all time in Brian Thomas. And that's just not going away. 6'3", 210, 4'3" isn't going away with the ball tracking skills of prime Willie Mays in center field. So we're talking about a guy who is a unicorn. I mean, he's going to be a really good player, but in the range that he's going, I have him as my wide receiver 28, and I can never click the button because I don't have to worry about the guys that are right next to him playing offense all the time.
Which is why my exposure was lower in best ball.
Wow. So, with that being said,
Hit that hammer on the head.
Sleez, you said that the slot usage and like you put all those numbers that Cohen does that. Are you anticipating that the vast majority of that production for the slot and the vast majority of the alignment for the slot is going to go to Travis Hunter and Brian Thomas Jr. is not going to get that usage?
Probably like a 15-20%. They'll mix him around for sure, but I still think he gets 60.
Who's going to get the 15-20%?
BTJ.
Oh, that so 15-20, the rest like 80-85 is Travis Hunter usage in the slot.
I would say that, yeah.
What's
Mike Evans was 25% last year to 70 with Chris Godwin. I'd say the same thing.
But why are we making the assumption that Travis Hunter is going to get that feature role in an offense where we've never seen him in an NFL situation?
You saw him line up in the slot in every single preseason snap and get more targets than BTJ. All we have is one little example. Just going off that.
I mean, like if we're going to look at depth chart and preseason stuff as our contingency, then I'm still not interested in that. But I mean, you stood on business, you said your piece, and we're going to move on to the next one. All right. Now we got a week 1 situation here, and this one's I posted my my most advantageous article that a lot of people love on a weekly basis, and I said that Calvin Ridley is in an advantageous situation for receiving yards and receptions against the Denver Broncos, and a lot of people are saying, "Are you comfortable starting Calvin Ridley week 1 versus the Denver Broncos and Patrick Surtain?" Who wants to take this one first?
Well, I feel like maybe I should since I
Titans. Yep, let's go.
Titans jersey in the back.
All right, let me get you sorted. Let me get you started. On your marks, you ready?
Yeah.
On your marks, get set, go.
I'm perfectly comfortable starting Calvin Ridley in week 1 against PS2 because of the fact that Calvin Ridley is one of the most elite separators in the game. And PS2 is the best by just about everybody you ask that's not a Texans fan corner in the entire NFL. And that's perfectly fine. He's going to be able to get open. It's just a matter of whether or not Cam Ward is going to be able to deliver it. Calvin Ridley has gotten open in fashions in which we could barely comprehend. He was number 1 in unrealized air yards last year. So he was getting open at an alarming rate, and the ball was just flying out of bounds because of the Mayo meme master, Will Levis. So on top of that, we get Cam Ward, who has the golden cannon hose of an arm to be able to get the ball into the intermediate tight spaces on the field, combined with an elite separator who can get deep on anyone. So yeah, I might not predict a ceiling outcome, but Calvin Ridley is going to be fine in week 1.
So what are you projecting for Calvin Ridley?
I'd be thrilled if I got 6 for 80 and a touchdown.
Fantasy points translation 16.
That's half PPR. Yeah, it's 16, but yeah, 20. But
20
I would be
points.
Yeah, no touchdown. I would say 4 for 70.
Okay, so where do you have him ranked? Do you have your weekly rankings right now for as wide receiver? Where do you have him
No,
ranked
I'm working on that. I'm working on that as we speak. I haven't. But I mean, he'd be he's easily a top 20 play for me.
Okay.
He's going to be in the top 20.
Who's next?
I'll jump in. I'm low on Calvin Ridley this week. I have him as a sit-em, and it's not just Patrick Surtain. It's just the whole situation. They just threw. I mean, I want to see Cam Ward. I want to see the gunslinger. I want to see the Brett Favre 2.0 type look. But going into Mile High Stadium for your first game, I just feel like you're going up against Patrick Surtain. They don't have a lot of other options. The Broncos know this. They're going to target and key in on Calvin Ridley, and I think it's more of a Chigakonkwo game than I do a Calvin Ridley game. And I think he's really going to struggle in week one. I think you're going to get to see the chemistry build over time. I think it's a nightmare matchup for him. I don't like it. I'd rather Cam Ward play the freaking Panthers or Jags or something week one, get his feet wet.
See, I agree with that sentiment because, like, if we're talking about just an overall corner who likes to travel and a corner who we've seen travel early and often, that is Patrick Surtain. Patrick Surtain travels with every wide receiver one. And it's not necessarily Calvin Ridley that I'm concerned about. It's the fact that Cam Ward has never seen a window that he hasn't tried to throw the ball through. And I feel like that creates a very volatile situation. So we might get JMO with Jerry Jeudy. That's a outcome that we could potentially get, or we might just get a bunch of picks and Tony Pollard having to carry the slack. Rip, what you got for us, buddy?
Yeah, I think it's somewhere in between what both Chev, Sleez, and yourself have said. I mean, look, I like Calvin Ridley as a season long play, but week one at Denver, PS2, he's not an ideal start for me. Now it depends your roster, right? This ultimately comes down to what do you have as your options? Who are you choosing between? And that's impossible to just say when we're here on a stream. The reality is, you make good points that it is a tough matchup. Probably the worst matchup, but again, could Denver's get up big? And then you have Tennessee chasing. Cam Ward's good at coming back. We saw this time and time again at Miami. I'm excited for Cam Ward. Could he just be forcing something? I could see him putting up 2 touchdowns against the Denver defense in a losing effort that comes out and it's beneficial to Calvin Ridley. But then again, you could see it going to Chig. You could see a lot of things. I like Pollard. So it's just one of those things. It really depends who you have instead of Ridley. If I was going to say on the most of the season, this would be a time where I probably wouldn't start him if I could avoid starting him because of the matchup.
Matthew Golden or Calvin Ridley?
Matthew Golden's not even close. Yeah, Matthew Golden's not even close.
I'm starting Golden over Ridley. I was just throwing it out there.
Well, like you, Sleez, I have Ridley as a sit-em as well this week. But I'm not trying to piss anybody off. Once again, I'm just the host with the most. All right, we're moving on to the next topic. All right, another one where it's tough matchup situation. Are you comfortable starting either DK Metcalf or Garrett Wilson in their head-to-head matchup week one, where the Pittsburgh Steelers are facing the New York Jets? Both quarterbacks were kind of on like I want to say, like, it wasn't even a lease. It was more of a rental. Who wants to take this one first? Are you guys just want to?
I literally just talked about this in my wide receiver video. I'm down to hop in here.
On your marks, get set, meow, go.
I mean, I have them both as wide receiver 23 and 24. So if you like Rip says, depends on your roster. If you need to throw them out there in a flex or a wide receiver 2, especially PPR, I like it because the matchups are terrible. I mean, I do think Sauce Gardner is massively overrated. Anyone could argue that with me if they want. But you look at the Steelers side, they're Ramsey, Porter, Slay. That's going to be a nasty trio of corners across the board, no matter where they line up Garrett Wilson. And both these wide receivers have no competition around them. They should be the focal point. We know Aaron Rodgers likes to funnel his targets to his wide receiver 1. We know Justin Fields has a connection with Garrett Wilson. But I feel like they're both touchdown dependent, and it's going to be the grungiest game. It's the lowest scoring game of the week. I hate this game across the board for fantasy football. I don't like any players in this game. But if you need to throw out, a flex play for them, I'm fine with it just because they're going to see massive targets. But they need a touchdown to pop in, and I don't. Could they both do it? Yeah. The matchups are brutal.
All right. Who's next? And chat, once again, guys, please read the ticker. We will prioritize answering your questions if it's a super. This show is about the guys here on the panel all competing for $800. So we are going to prioritize them and their opportunity to move on in the Better Vision Stand on Business tournament that we have for 16 weeks. So once again, guys, we'll answer any and all of your questions every single stream other than this one. If you guys do want somebody to stand on business, it's a super $10. If you guys want a question answered, if it's a start sit, we will raise it to the panel, but it's also a super because at the end of the day, it's about these guys showing that they're able to talk ball with the best of them and they're the best of the best. So who's ready to go next?
Yeah, I'll go.
Who said that, Chev?
Me. Yeah.
Okay. On your mark, get set, go.
It's pretty comfortably DK Metcalf. And I don't love this matchup either way, just because you're going to have Aaron Glenn play a ton of if he follows everything that he did in Detroit, they're going to play a ton of man coverage. And, DK's not the most elite separator anymore. He could break one, but he's got to deal with, I believe, Carlton Davis and Sauce Gardner. So I like his chances of being able to get over the top or get open against either one of those guys, as opposed to having to face Slay, Jalen Ramsey, or Joey Porter Jr. So, yeah, I don't like Garrett Wilson's matchup at all. I mean, absolutely, full stop, no equivocations. Beyond that, DK Metcalf, I think it's significantly better. They're going to have a little bit more of a rapport off the bat because Aaron Rodgers is a much better passer of the football than Justin Fields. So, yes, I would play DK Metcalf firmly over Garrett Wilson.
I love it. I love it. Right at the buzzer, too. Ripper, you ready? On your marks, get set, and go.
All right, guys, this is pretty easy. It's going against Aaron Rodgers-led team, so we're going to go with Garrett Wilson here. Yes, the connection that he has with Justin Fields is going to come back into play. His days at Ohio State reformed. Plus, look, Aaron Glenn, defensive mind. He's in there. He's got one focus now in New York, and that's going to stop Aaron Rodgers and, by extension, their wide receiver one. That is DK Metcalf. DK Metcalf over the last 3 seasons in the season opener has his total yardage is, I believe, 112 yards over 3 games. I'm not going to think that trend changes. Plus, you have the Rodgers effect. I don't think either's a great play, but I sure as hell am not riding with Metcalf here. So I'm taking Justin Fields, getting the ball to his boy Garrett Wilson, just enough that makes it better than going Metcalf. So ride with me and Garrett Wilson. Boom.
Did you really search up those stats right there that quick? The DK Metcalf, 29 yards 2024, 47 yards 2023, and 36 yards in 2022 on openers. It's terrible.
Yeah. Welcome. And now he has Aaron Rodgers, who barely.
Boy, Rip.
Oh, yeah. That's why I stand up with it. So it's, again, I don't think it's honestly either of these guys are great. It's a good question because it's like a really difficult one. I'm just going with the history on Metcalf's game one plus the whole situation.
I mean, ultimately, if you look at them based off of the draft capital spent, you are betting on the volume and the volume alone. But that little nugget that you just dropped there, I don't think any of us knew it on the panel. I'll admit that I had no idea.
No, I was like, ooh,
that was good.
Yeah, that's going to be a fantastic.
You wrinkled my brain right there, Rip. I don't like that.
That was great work, Rip. I absolutely love that. Very, very seldomly do I hear a take where it's like
what you get when you get to go last. You get to research more. It's fine. Go ahead. I give it to you.
No, yeah.
I love that.
20 minutes ago, Sleez is volunteering. Hey, who wants to go first? Sleez. Oh, Rip wants to go first. Here, go for it.
All right, are you guys ready for this next one? So this next one's a little bit of a trend, and this is how we're going to land the plane on the show. So here we're going to go, okay? Give me your dark horse QB outside of the top 15 currently consensus. If you guys want to take a moment just to pull up the Fantasy Pros rankings right now, look at their top 15, and I'll do the same. And just have Fantasy Pros readily available because that's the ADP that we're going on. Just Fantasy Pros Week 1 rankings. If you guys want, I could share that in the direct chat, and we can also share that for the chat as well. Hold on. Do I have the right one?
You already know mine. Come on.
Yeah.
Easy.
So you ready? So
you want me to go?
Yeah. I mean, if you're ready and you're already all over it. Quarterback to finish as a top 5 quarterback, if not the quarterback 1, who's currently being drafted or who's currently ranked outside of the top 15.
Give me one sec. I'll go. I don't need the second. It's gonna be the same thing. What?
For the season or week one?
Week 1.
For week 1.
Okay. All right.
So it's going to be Bryce Young for me again here. I mean, the only thing that kind of scares me away in this game is there's this weather update of possible 70% chance of rain, which could slow it down, right? But look at Jacksonville. They gave up the most passing yards of the NFL last year. Haven't addressed it much at all in the offseason. You could say your boy Travis Hunter plays corner. I don't think he's going to be out there playing that much corner at all, if any. We'll see him maybe 10 snaps out there. And Bryce Young's rushing upside, the edges that they have out there in Jacksonville's not going to be able to press him enough. He's going to have a lot of time. The offensive line is massive. And I think I'm going to go with Chev and say it's pineapple time, baby. Ted McMillan's going to feast in this game. And I can see Bryce Young dropping 25 plus.
All right, I just put the Fantasy Pros Week 1 consensus rankings in the private chat, and we'll post it here as well.
He's at quarterback 20, I believe. 20 right now.
Colin McCown, good to see you. Benjamin McCown, Cook, Chev, Cook. You got fans. Love to see it in the chat. All right, who's ready to go next? Rip, you're up. It's been. You ready, Chev?
Sure.
All right, let's go.
For me, it's going to be Michael Penix. I mean, I've been fully keyed up about Michael Penix for a while. I mean, you talk about he was number 1 in air yards in his 3 starts last year. They were second in pace of play. Bijan averaged 27 touches with him in the lineup. Drake London averaged 13 targets a game. That's going to come down. But what does it come down to? Oh, no, he's only going to average 10 targets a game. That's 170 targets, guys. Let's be for real. And all reports have been that they just picked up where they left off last season, where he just hyper targets hyper targets Drake London over and over again. So Michael Penix is going to throw for 275 and 3 touchdowns against the Bucs. I don't really believe in their secondary or anything that they have going on, even though Todd Bowles has been one of the preeminent defensive minds in the game. They don't have the horses in the secondary to hold these alligators down. And Michael Penix is going to be dancing into the top 5 come this weekend.
Was that a Ric Flair reference, sir?
It was.
I love that reference so much. To hold these alligators down, that is phenomenal. Rip, what you got for us, brother?
Well, ironically enough, I was going to say Michael Penix myself. So I'm gonna kind of follow on because I thought that was a really good point from Chev about Penix. There's a lot there to like, and if he hyper feeds London, maybe he gets a couple Bijan touchdowns that are through the air, a little little dump passes or something. It really would inflate his overall QB performance. But I'm going to just switch it up just to give us some other food for thought. And because I do think if it's not Penix, Bryce Young is a great option, as Sleez has said. I'm going deep into the game here. I'm going
Come on,
out
Dolphins, throw me the Tua.
I don't know what team that is. I'm going to go to Las Vegas, and I'm going to ride with Geno, and here's my thought. I think we have a completely new offense in Las Vegas. You don't just have Brock, you have Brock, but now you have Ash and Genty. I like what we've seen from Thornton. Jacoby Myers is there, but also you have Chip Kelly in charge of the offense. With Geno, you have a whole new outcome, I think. And what does this for me is when you think about New England, I've been hearing reports maybe Christian Gonzalez is hurt. If he does not play, that opens up the potential that Geno could make a surprise appearance as a top 5 quarterback. I know this sounds crazy, but I'm trying to do something different. Thanks for listening.
Honestly, Rip, I want to say this. Like you had a very flustering situation. You even sent me the article about like the New York City subway system being down. But like you came on here and you've been cooking, and I want to give you your props because like you were at I could see you still sweating, catching your breath. You literally ran to make it here, and you've been cooking. You've been doing really well, man. And I'm very, very pleased with this. You've all been fantastic for what it's worth. So guys, Bryce Young right now, quarterback 20 in the Fantasy Pros rankings. Michael Penix Jr., quarterback 22. And then Geno Smith all the way down there, quarterback 27. And the reason why Sleez told him to mention Tua is because once upon a time, Rip was a Miami Dolphins fan, like a diehard Miami Dolphins fan, but they ripped his heart and soul out of him. All right. So, guys, I know I'm not pulling up comments, but this guy's sponsoring the event, so we're going to pull this up for sure. Sorry, boys, it's Justin Fields' revenge game versus Steelers. He may only throw 160 and 1 to all to Wilson, but he'll also run for 100 and other TDs, squeaks into top 5 from outside the top 15.
I don't hate my other choice.
I don't hate that. What's up, Rip?
That better vision, he agrees with what I just said on the last point because he just said they're all going to Wilson.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
I get the
Yeah,
$800. Is that what that
Oh,
means?
so how about this? How about Justin Fields is the leading rusher in that entire game?
in that entire game.
Yep.
I mean, there's a world where that's incredibly possible. I mean, I'm not
That's
betting
tough,
against it.
though. That's tough though, because so not only are all the defensive minds there that coached against him last year, but beyond that, they play Lamar twice a year. So there's no team more equipped to put together a game plan to keep a guy in the pocket and not let him scramble than the Pittsburgh Steelers.
I mean,
they've seen it firsthand
I don't
last year.
see Braylon or Brees running. I don't see Jalen Warren or obviously Caleb Johnson's got buried in the depth chart behind Gamewell. I don't see any of them out rushing fucking Justin Fields.
I mean,
That's
ultimately, for what it's worth, Sleez, if you look at the official Patriots or unofficial Patriots depth chart,
I know
Trayvon
Henderson
was
was 3. I saw
so
that.
once again, man, this is all like they're all posturing. They're all like playing these mind games. None of it's real. All right, you guys. Hey, you guys cooked on that last topic. This next topic, we're going to get you guys to think a little bit more. So once again, guys, if you look in the private chat, you have access to the same rankings chat. If you guys click here on this here link, you guys have access to the same rankings. You just need to switch positions. Okay. So next question. It's starting to get tough, guys. Give me one dark horse running back outside of the top 20 to finish as a top 5 running back this week, PPR format. And take your time. Take your time. In the meantime, what we'll do is we'll shout out our sponsors for this event. But do they keep Lamar in the pocket? He puts BTA. What the hell does BTA mean?
Bell to ass. And Lamar's like 2-7 against the Steelers in the regular season.
Yeah, he struggles versus Steelers heavy.
I like that. I like that. My God.
You said outside the top 20?
Outside of the top 20. So the cutoff is Tony Pollard.
Oh, easy.
And 21's easy pickings, but
easy.
You ready?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Austin Eckler.
Okay. Austin Eckler is RB30 right now. Please proceed.
Yeah, Austin Eckler. I mean, that front against the Giants is going to be really tough, but Austin Eckler still is one of the best pass catching running backs in the game. I believe he was 4th in EPA per touch before getting injured last year. Shout out to, I believe that was you, Disco, that threw that out there before. So
yes,
Austin Eckler is going to get the ball first in this backfield, and he's going to catch passes and probably be the first handle most of the workload until he gets injured or fumbles it away. So I could easily see him giving us maybe 60 yards rushing with another 5 passes for 50 yards. And if he gets into the end zone, what is that gonna equate to? Probably a top 5 finish. So 110 yards, 5 catches, and a touchdown for Austin Eckler. Why couldn't he easily do this in a game that's probably going to be a favorable game script for the Commanders throughout?
I love. Did we just get the Fire Disco will love the fate of Little Bill? You said Bill, so I got that slide somewhere. Hold on, where's he at? There we go. All right, there's the little Bill. I can't lie. I don't think I've ever seen that show ever. All right, who's ready to go next?
I'll go next. I'll rip that one up too. Put me
all
up
right. So when you do go, because I'm trying to set up the poll right now for the fan vote, but when you do go, please just say where they're currently ranked on the rankings on Fantasy Pros right now. And shout out to the wonderful folks from Fantasy Pros for always providing the best rankings on the planet.
All right, so first of all, we got to break down this Austin Eckler. This is another Justin Fields type situation. JD5 is going to be the leading rusher in this game in both teams. I am not buying that Austin. He might get a goal line touchdown, if any, but this Giants front 7 is going to be fucking nasty this year. That's like nobody knows. I think they're going to lead the NFL in sacks. I don't think the Commanders are going to rush for shit in this game. But I am going to go back to the beginning of this. And I'm going to go back to where Rippe is at with Byshell Tootin here. We're going to go with Travis Etienne. This is going to be the showcase game versus the abomination defense of the Carolina Panthers run D. You could say, yeah, Derek is back still. They're not going to stop the run much this year. And if the rain plays in effect like it does, maybe you see more run game in this instead of pass game. If it's obviously cloudy skies, it's more of a pass game there. But I think if they're going to showcase ETN, he has the best matchup to get your trade coming if they want to move him against the Carolina Panthers' awful run D.
Shout out to Jeremiah Retzlaff. He says, "Does Chef really need a chair? It looks like he's standing on business. It looks like Chev brought the fans and the audience, and I mean, hey, this pays. But I will say this, right? If you do not advance to the semis and the championships, you are welcome to come back on the show as long as you want to stand on business. If you're one of the folks who don't make it, okay? So because all of you guys have been absolutely cooking, all of you guys in my books have stood on business and represented. Rip, give me a top 20 running back outside of the top 5 that's going to finish as a top 5. Or give me a running back outside of the top 20 that's going to finish. I did a terrible job as a host today. I apologize. But please, Rip, you know the question.
Yeah. Pretty simple here. I'm going to go with Trevion Henderson at number 21. It's a little cheating because he's right after 20. But, I mean, if we're talking realistically, this guy could get 15 carries in week 1, or at least 15 touches. He's explosive. We saw it in the preseason. The hype has just grown, and he's uber talented. He's going against a pretty porous defense when you think about it. They lost Christian Wilkins. Yes, they've got Crosby, but outside of that, I don't expect the Raiders defense to be what they will be by the end of the season in Pete Carroll's debut. For Vegas, I'm very bullish on Vegas this season, but I think in this matchup, when you have Mike Vrabel, you're going to have him controlling the game, good in-game management. That means running the ball. I think we do see some Ramondre, but I think Trevion's ability to break big plays puts him in line to potentially end week 1 as a top 5 finisher.
I love it. I love it. I love it, especially because I'm a diehard New England Patriots fan. Hey man, I asked a question, you answered, so fantastic work. Now, this is just a question more so for me, and just give me a quick answer, gentlemen of the panel. But in terms of like the running back situation in Cleveland, are we leaning Jerome Ford or are we leaning Samson?
I'm going to say it's Samson, even though I think they said Ford coming out the gate. They know what they have in Ford. Unleash the 22 touchdown SEC volunteer. Let's get after it.
Oh, whoa. So they know what they have in Cleveland.
They know what they have
But
in Ford. They've seen it. It's nothing special. It's a
but that doesn't equate when we go down south to Jacksonville.
Wow.
You got
Wow.
Let me know when Jerome Ford's been a top 3 running back to even make the fucking narrative.
I'm just wondering how
spicy, fellas. I don't want to leave.
Come on.
Yeah, it's kind of fair. It is a fair point that Etienne, fair.
I love it. All right, guys. Next question. You guys ready? That was excellent.
I'll go Jerome Ford, by the way.
You'll go with Jerome. So here's the only reason why I asked that is because like I'm kind of him in the DFS streets. Yeah, I'm always thinking DFS. I always do like a lot of DFS stuff. I would say like best ball. I love DFS is like what I'm known for, and I'm just trying to wrap my head around it because it's one of the most advantageous matchups that anybody could possibly have going against the Cincinnati Bengals, right? So thank you guys for assisting me that way. I think I'm going to lean just when I max out the tournament, I'm going to lean 65 Ford and then the rest of the way on Samson. So I appreciate you guys. All right, next question.
Differential.
What's up?
Is it like $300? What's the price differential
for what?
Ford and Samson.
It depends on the DFS that you're playing on. I play it on Owner's Box, right? Us here in Ontario, we are only limited to Owner's Box and Owner's Box only. Use promo code DISCO, W first deposit $1 for $1. Tell you that for free. All right. Give me one dark horse wide receiver outside of the top 30 to finish in the top 5 this week. I mean, just based off of what we were doing, if your math is mathing, it is simple to make the assumption of what the question is. So George Pickens is the wide receiver 30. Anything past George Pickens is fair game. And now I'm just going to, so while you guys wait, I'm just trying to find where my guy Cooper Kupp is ranked right now. Cooper Kupp is ranked wide receiver 44. I have Cooper Kupp as a wide receiver 9 this week. And I'll tell you why. Every week, he's played in an opening game. He's absolutely broken fantasy football. And then when you look further into the situation, right? Because like I like these fun trends, like these little minute detailed trends. But when you look at 3 people in that system, in that scheme that have a lot of things in common, you got obviously Cooper Kupp, you got the new offensive coordinator, Clint Kubiak, and you have Sam Darnold. And they all come from that Sean McVay, Shanahan scheme, that tree, that coaching system. I feel like when you put those three together, they're going to be able to, one, speak the same language in opening week. They're going to be able to hit the ground running, but we'll also be able to see them add a few wrinkles that defenses have not seen. I'm just saying this for week one. I'm not saying this for season long. I'm saying this for week one. And then when you look at Robert Saleh and what his New York Jets defense has done the last 2 years, and even historically what he's done in San Francisco, Robert Saleh's defense has given up the most fantasy points on a weekly basis to the slot back position at 25.6 on a weekly basis. And if you look at how Clint Kubiak schemes his wide receivers with that Texas T pre-snap motion, pretty much everybody is a slot back. You look at the crack back in involvement. I think Cooper Kupp is one of my wildest, hottest takes, but I'm all in on Cooper Kupp, and you've all heard it here first. Do not bench Cooper Kupp this week, and then after he performs, sell so high, sell incredibly high, but sell immediately. Who's ready to take this one? And hopefully, I bought you guys enough time with that stupid take.
I'll let you guys go for it.
All right, well, I'll just go. Sleez needs a lot more time. He's just over there twiddling his thumb, trying to
Oh
think
no,
about
I know my
people.
guy. I just want to get how to
Yeah,
break it
yeah, it's
down.
all right. I hope I take his guy. I'm going to take his guy. It's number 31. He's a rookie. I'm all in on the rookie this season. This is the season where Rip has told, if you paid attention, that I'm going stars and rookies as my strategy across the league.
Who is
Anyways,
that
it's-
rookie? Just for the people who are listening to
Yeah.
us audibly.
I'm getting there. I'm just using some
Okay.
time to add to my content that's,
Okay.
fluff. All right. It's a Mecca Ibuka. Okay, look. I told you I was taking your guy. So here's the thing. You should volunteer to go for yourself. And that's a lesson that I just taught you. But anyways, we're standing on business here. So on Mecca Ibuka, look, he's been crushing it all preseason, right? I mean, Sleez has been talking about him for months. I can't even scroll Twitter anymore because he talks about him so much. But more importantly, Sleez is a smart guy. We've got this opening game. We have a good matchup where it's going to be some offense flying. I feel like we could see fireworks from the Falcons and Penix and Bijan, and the same thing from Baker. We know Godwin is not healthy. He's not playing. So it's Mike Evans and young rook Ibuka who's going to show out right from day one. He's come into the league ready to play. He was awesome his entire time at Ohio State. And more importantly, I think he's going to be the new Amon-Ra St. Brown. He's going to show out immediately. He's going to be big in week one. The 31st ranked week one wide receiver, Emeka Egbuka, finishes with 2 touchdowns in a top 5 ranking.
I love it. So if you guys are one of the 400 plus people watching us on X, head over to the Big Draft Energy YouTube channel. This is where you guys can come vote, and the votes are now open if you guys want to vet. Option A, I believe, is Chev. Option B, I believe, is Rippe. And option C, I believe, is Sleez. Come in, vote, guys. Vote honestly. Vote not based off of personal bias and who you knew, but who you think really stood on business when the opportunity arose. So Sleez, Chev, who's next?
I'll go next.
All right,
Take it down.
It's gonna be Romo Dunze.
Oof.
Sleez hates a Dunze for what it's worth.
Yeah, I'm going with Romo Dunze. I think that there are several Spider-Man memes, and in the Chicago Bears offense, I think that the Minnesota Vikings have allowed the most points to the position, the fantasy wide receivers last year. And beyond that, I think Romo Dunze is due for a breakout. I think he's going to be excellent in the boundary X wide receiver role. I think that they're going to have to throw the ball to keep pace. I don't think that they're going to be very conservative in their opening, coming out of the gate with a team with the caliber of weapons. If Justin Jefferson, who I believe is back practicing again, and Adam Thielen are up to speed, and TJ Hawkinson's coming off the ACL, I think this has a chance to go higher and over the total than we're giving it credit for. And I think Roma Dunze is going to get off to a monstrous start. He was already top 10 in deep targets and red zone targets last year. I think that continues, and those targets are actually catchable. And Roma Dunze is my guy that I'm going to pick outside of the top 30 that could finish top 5.
I love that. I love that so much. Sleez?
Well, goddamn, Emeka Egbuka is taken. Romo Dunze, I was going to throw him in there, but I can't believe I have to do this right now. This is for Big Draft Energy. It is going to be Matthew Golden.
Hell yeah.
just completely named the Packers wide receiver 1. I know they spread the ball out a lot, but you have to look at the Lions were bottom 5 against the pass last year. Obviously, they gave up a lot more yards when Aiden Hutchinson couldn't pressure him as much. He'll be back healthy. But this is not just going to be a Matthew Golden game. This is going to be a fucking statement game from the Green Bay Packers. They are going to mop the Lions out the building. It's not going to be close. They're not holding anything back, and they're letting him know why Micah Parsons is in town.
Okay. All right. Hold on. Did that enter? Hold on. Add banner. What the hell's going on? Okay. There we go. I love it. I was having a mental breakdown there. I apologize, guys. I was just trying to adjust the last question for the panel. No stand on businesses whatsoever. I mean, the pushback was very minimal. Very, very minimal. All right. Yeah, Matthew Golden will go nuclear for you, Frosty. You guys ready for the last one? This is the last one of the night. All right. This is how you guys land the plane. This is how you guys take it home. All right. Give me a dark horse tight end outside of the top 10 current tight ends on Fantasy Pros rankings to finish as the tight end 1 on the week, and you have a minute to stand on business to land the plane. So I'm going to set it up because this was my guy's guy, and let me just get to the media. And then Rip, give me your reason and your guy on your marks, get set, and go.
I just love this so much. It's so simple. He plays in Indianapolis. His name is Tyler Warren. He was their first round draft pick, number 14th overall. Not only is he going to finish tight end number 1
outside the top 10, Rip.
He's number 11, isn't he?
Yes.
Yeah, I've got 11.
Yeah.
Okay. Hold on. Before you were so rudely interrupted, we'll start your timer all over again. He's tight end 11. Have the freaking rankings up before you interject, sir.
It shows me 10.
He's tight end 11 here. PPR.
Mine's Evan Ingram is 10.
PPR.
Tight end. Yeah, let's run this back. Sleez, here, clear the earwax out there. Let's go, buddy. You'll learn something here. No more Emeka Ibuka talk. All right, so Tyler Warren, tight end 1 after week 1. He's tight end 11 right now. You see there's a lot of ones there. He's going to be in the end zone a lot of times. You know why? Because he's playing that terrible Miami Dolphins team who doesn't know how to cover anyone. They traded everyone on their defense. They don't have defense left. Now Tyler Warren comes in. He's basically going to be Brock Bowers light this season. The guy's an absolute animal. Who else does Indianapolis have? Not really anybody that scares you. Obviously, Jonathan Taylor, great running back, but outside of that, they're going to feed Warren. You could see him with Tush Push. You could see him in the Wildcat. He's going to do everything, and he's going to do it all season. So not only is he going to finish tight end 1 in week 1, you might see tight end 1 all season. So if you're investing in fantasy football and you're spending your hard-earned green dollars this season, make sure to draft Tyler Warren because he's extremely undervalued. You're going to get great reward for little risk, and you're going to have a lot of fun doing it, and you'll probably be pretty cool to your friends. Tyler Warren, number 1 tight end in my book, your book, everyone's book. Peace.
I love it. He stood on business. He said what he had to say. I'm going to go out and say, while you guys, come up with your argument, because you got a minute to win it before we close out. I'm going to go out and say that Mason Taylor is going to be really good this weekend, guys. They don't have a wide receiver 2, and like you guys alluded to, I think the answer isn't Garrett Wilson. I think the answer is going to be Mason Taylor, and I think Mason Taylor, I don't think he's going to be wide receiver 1, but he'll be pushing for it. He's going to be absolutely spectacular. Who's next?
I'll go next.
All righty. On your marks, get set, cook.
Brenton Strange is the guy that we're going to talk about here because of the fact that the Carolina Panthers allowed the most points to the fantasy tight ends last year. Beyond that, Brenton Strange is now in a featured role, and he's going to take that next step forward as potentially the third option in the offense and the second option if Travis Hunter has to play corner unexpectedly a lot, maybe more than we're considering when ranking him inside of the top 30 of our wide receivers. I did that, but you shouldn't do that. I did that so you didn't have to. But anyway, Brenton Strange is going to be a focal point. He's going to be probably the second option in the red zone. And so I think that Jacksonville could get up early. And if he spikes a touchdown or breaks a long play, he's one of the more athletic tight ends in the entire NFL. So I am all in on Brenton Strange as a dark horse top 5 tight end for the week.
Wow. Time to spare. I love it. Sleez, you ready?
Well, there goes my Brenton Strange call.
Okay, do you need a minute? Because here's your options. You got Dalton Kincaid.
No, I don't need it. I got my perks going last. I'm ready, baby.
Kyle Pitts. Are we betting on Kyle Pitts again?
It is going to be
on your marks.
A minute.
Get set and go.
The sleeper tight end outside of the top 10 that is going to have a monster week. We are 2 days away from. It is going to be Jake Ferguson of the Dallas Cowboys. They now have George Pickens and CeeDee Lamb. Yes, the Eagles will be focusing on them. They do have Quinion Mitchell, Cooper DeJean, great corners out there as well. But what you don't realize is the Cowboys were 7th in neutral pass rate last year. Their running game this year is going to be absolutely fucking terrible. I don't even need to talk about Javonte Williams anymore. He's been dead to me for 3 years. Nothing's going to change there. And if you look at Dak Prescott,
that's like Javonte Williams jersey in your image.
I know. I have to use it all year. But before the end here, Dak Prescott was injured in week 9. Do you know how many games Jake Ferguson had over 7+ targets in those 9 games? In 7 of them. He loves his tight end. This is going to be a game where CeeDee Lamb I still love, but they're going to focus more on Pickens and him. And Jake Ferguson has a chance to be inside of the top 5 this week.
Now I'm gonna say this to the panel because Rip, I know you got a jet soon. Now I know for a fact one of the tight ends from Chicago is going to absolutely cook Minnesota. Are we comfortable and confident in starting Colston Loveland, or is there a chance that on Monday Night Football Cole Kmet is going to be the guy? Because one of them is going to cook. One of them is going to emerge as a top 12, top 13 tight end. Do we want to bet on the draft capital? Sorry.
The thing is with that, Ben Johnson played the 4th most 12 personnel of any offensive coordinator last year. So
it's Russian
they're
roulette.
both going to be out there.
Yeah.
So you've got to flip a coin on which one that you think it'll be. I mean, it's just that Colston Loveland's going to probably be doing more receiver stuff and lining up like detached from the formation, and Cole Kmet's going to be the classic inline guy. So if you're betting on anything, you could bet on. I mean, you have to bet on one of them catching a touchdown.
Okay. I love it. All right, guys, you guys got a minute to vote. Before we do that, guys, once again, thank you guys so much. This is kind of like a spur of the moment inspired by like a sleep deprived charity draftathon where I was just trying to fill time and just had to stand on business, and people just kept, standing on business and giving fantastic fantasy football takes. And this went way better than I ever could have anticipated. I know I didn't do my due diligence as a host because I'm used to just talking shit, not necessarily hosting and listening to other people talk shit. But nevertheless, guys, this is episode 1. This is the first Stand on Business. We'll be doing this every Tuesday. And once again, week 16, the grand prize winner of $800 is going to be announced. If you guys have not downloaded and created an account on Better Vision, fix your life. It really does make your Sundays, your game days just way more convenient. So please, shout out to our sponsors. Please go sign up for Better Vision, create an account there on Better Vision, because these guys are definitely here for ball, and they know ball better than most. And they're in here, they're chopping it up, and they did this for the people. So I'm going to stop rambling. I'm going to give everybody here an opportunity to once again say who they are, where the people could find their content, because we have several people here on YouTube, but we have almost 500 people watching us on X right now. So please let the folks know where they can find you, your content. Rip, once again, thank you so much for coming in. I know you were frazzled. You had like the subway situation, but I think you were absolutely brilliant today. And this is probably the sharpest I've ever seen you out of all of our interactions. So thank you for bringing your A game, man.
Appreciate you having me, man. Anytime I can be here with my guys, I'm here. It's a pleasure. The season is finally here. That's the most exciting time. You know where you can find me. It's right there. That handle. That's where all the good stuff is. That's how you win. We stay winning year after year. This is going to be no different this season, and I happily can't wait to return in season anytime I'm available to hang out with you guys and talk sports.
Amazing. Sleez.
Amazing time, man. That was fun. Michael Rippe, I got to give you, man, that DK Metcalf thing still has me tripping. That was nice. Chev, same to you as well. It's awesome having you on. Great battling it up. Derek Sleezebomb, my mind is a weapon fantasy football show. You can find me across all platforms with that. I'm pumping content like a psycho here. The season is here. I can't wait, man. I'm excited.
I love it. All right. The poll has ended, and the winner of the inaugural Stand on Business, you and Faxture, were able to come on and stand on business. And it's to no shock of yourself, and it's to no shock of your community. This is the legendary ball knower, aka Chev. Where can the folks find you? And once again, man, congratulations on winning the initial Stand on Business. You advanced to the semifinals, brother. Congratulations.
Appreciate you, man. Yeah, this is so much fun. Talked about doing something like this with some buddies a while back, and it never came to fruition. So when you put the bat signal up, I was like, oh hell yes, yeah, fuck yeah, yes, I would love to do something like this. So yeah, you can find me at Chev90, Chev GPT. You know, I'm over at the FFD Fantasy. We just launched the redraft channel. Super excited for everything we got going on over there. I also make content for Player Profiler. I've got a few shows over there. And yeah, that's pretty much it. There's a link tree on the Quantum of Chevis on my Twitter X profile. So you can find all my work that I'm doing over there. And also download the League Champ app. That's an app that I'm working on, a rankings-based platform. So yeah, download that and put your rankings in. There's a sweepstakes. Fun stuff.
I love it. Hey man, congratulations once again, guys. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for investing in this and in spending the time here. We are looking for new content creators next week. Once again, Sleez and Rip, because you guys didn't win this week, but you guys brought the heat in the A game, you guys are welcome to come back in a couple of weeks if you guys so wish. Chev, once again, congrats. He is your favorite fantasy football content creator, content creator.
Hold on, big guy. Just time out.
What's up?
Time out. I'm gonna see you, Chev, in the semifinals, bud. I'm coming for you, bud. This was great performance today, but it's only preseason. Wait till the regular season. I'm coming for you. I'll see you in those semis, baby.
Where was the Rip love and the votes, chat? What happened here?
I look forward to
it. All right, guys. Until next time, which is tomorrow night. We got a question here. If you guys got a jet, that's fine. I might just stick around and do a draft.
All right, I gotta go be a dad real quick.
All right, go do what you gotta do. Got offered Drake London and Jacobs for Puka and Bucky. Full PPR. Do I take it? Drake London and Jacobs for Puka and Bucky. Do I take it? I mean,
I like London over London over Puka, but I like Bucky over Jacobs.
I think it's a very balanced trade. I like Puka over London, but I like Jacobs over Bucky.
And we're on the opposite side. That's funny.
Yeah, I'm honestly, I also love London. Bucky, I don't love this year, so I would lean on the London and Jacobs side. What do you think?
That's as 50-50 as it gets.
Yeah, that is a fantastic question. I am leaning that way. Sleez, that was fun, man. That was fun. I think Bing King came in and he got offended because we weren't
banned. I saw it.
Yeah, because we weren't answering things, and I mean, just like said peace like 6 different times. So unfortunately, I had to remove it.
So are we gonna look back on the calls at all? Is that what we're doing?
Let's see. Well, we could definitely look back at the calls. Great show. Would you drop Woody Marks for Ollie Gordon? Absolutely,
100% in a heartbeat.
Yeah. I mean, here's the thing, right? Unless it's Joe Mixon, and it's looking more and more like it's not going to be Joe Mixon on a daily basis. Unless it's Joe Mixon, I don't want anything to do with those running backs whatsoever. I like Ollie, man. You're going to keep Ollie forever. Big Chev, not the little one. Hell yeah. 901. Chev definitely won. Hey man, that was fun. That was hella fun. And once again, guys, like we try to prioritize your answers any and every single day. We know that these guys are limited time, and once again, they are here giving us their time to have this conversation, this discussion, and to win money, right? And to just establish themselves as like these guys are the people who could talk shit with the best of them. And Chev is honestly coming into this. I thought Chev was going to absolutely dominate. That's why he was literally the first name I nominated. But I mean, Rip was on one of Sleez. You brought it like you always do, but Rip was
that DK Metcalf one was the winner.
Oh good. Man, like I voted for Rip. Like personally, I went out of my way to vote for Rip. That was like he brought his A game, and it wasn't just that take; it was literally all of his takes. It was absolutely fantastic. So we're about to head out. I just want to thank our sponsors once again, Better Vision, for this event. Tomorrow we'll be back to our regular scheduled shows. But guys, this is what you expect moving forward. If you guys have a fantasy football question on a Tuesday night at 7 p.m. Eastern time, it's going to be a super chat because that's the only way we'll prioritize it and answer it unless you're the sponsor of the show. Until next time, guys, I love you guys. God bless you guys. Peace.